I had always dreamed of starting a family with my wife, Zara. The idea of holding our child in my arms, watching them grow, and building a family together was a vision that had fueled me through years of work, stress, and life's ordinary struggles. But as we tried for a baby, cracks began to form in our relationship, subtle at first. Then devastatingly clear. It started with comments that stung more than I could admit at the time. Zara would make offhand remarks, joking, or so she claimed, about my supposed infertility. "Maybe it's you, not me," she said one evening, laughing in a way that wasn't funny. Another time, she whispered to a friend about how I might never be able to father a child. Each comment, though veiled in humor, cut deeper than she could have imagined. I tried to brush them off, insisting to myself that love should survive ignorance or insensitivity. But inside, the words gnawed at me, planting seeds of doubt and hurt that would soon bloom into something far more painful. Months passed, and the stress of trying, combined with her constant jabs, began to weigh heavily on me. I wanted to approach her, to talk, to seek understanding, but something in her demeanor changed too. She became distant, secretive, and emotionally evasive. I noticed her phone disappearing at odd hours, hushed conversations that abruptly ended when I entered the room, and subtle excuses about late nights at work. I confronted her once, trying to address the growing distance between us. She laughed, dismissing my concerns. "You worry too much," she said, rolling her eyes. But the unease in my chest refused to be silenced. Something was wrong, and deep down, I feared the truth. Then the truth revealed itself in the cruelest way possible. A friend, someone I trusted, called me with information I never wanted to hear. Zara had been cheating on me while we were trying for a baby. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was tied directly to my deepest insecurity, the very thing she had mocked me for, my supposed infertility. She had sought validation, comfort, and intimacy elsewhere, all while pretending to struggle alongside me. I didn't react immediately. Anger, after all, is best tempered by strategy. Instead, I allowed the initial shock to settle, letting the depth of her betrayal sink in. I reviewed everything I knew, the messages I had noticed but dismissed, the patterns of secrecy, the veiled insults, and realized that the situation demanded more than a private confrontation. It demanded exposure, accountability, and a public acknowledgement of the betrayal that had impacted not just me, but our entire social circle. The opportunity came sooner than I expected. Zara had organized a dinner party, inviting friends and family to celebrate a milestone in her career. She expected laughter, congratulations, and normalcy. She did not expect revelation, confrontation, or truth. I decided that the public nature of the event was exactly where the betrayal needed to be addressed, not to humiliate for the sake of vengeance, but to ensure accountability in front of witnesses who understood the weight of trust. I arrived at the party with calm resolve. Zara greeted me warmly, unsuspecting of what was coming. The room was filled with friends, family, and colleagues. I waited for the right moment, letting the initial chatter and laughter flow around us. Then I stood, drawing the room's attention. The hum of conversation died down as curiosity and tension began to build. "Thank you all for being here tonight," I began, my voice steady, unwavering. "We've gathered to celebrate accomplishments, milestones, and relationships. But before the night continues, there is something very important that must be addressed." Zara's smile faltered slightly, confusion flickering across her face. She looked around the room, unsure, expecting perhaps a lighthearted comment or a playful joke. Instead, she met my eyes and saw the seriousness there, a seriousness she had never anticipated. "You see," I continued, my tone deliberate, "trust is the foundation of every relationship. And when that trust is violated, especially in matters of the heart and family, the consequences are profound and far-reaching, I paused, letting the words settle. All eyes in the room were on us. Some friends exchanged worried glances. Family members leaned forward, sensing the gravity of what was about to unfold. Zara, I said, keeping my voice calm but firm, while we were trying for a child, while we were hoping, planning, and dreaming together. You sought intimacy and comfort elsewhere. You called me infertile behind my back, mocked me for something beyond my control, and betrayed the very trust that formed the core of our marriage. Gasps rippled through the room. People whispered to each other, disbelief etched on their faces. Zara's cheeks turned pale, her mouth opening and closing as if words might fix the situation. But no words could undo the revelation. No excuses could erase the betrayal. I continued, methodically recounting the details I had uncovered, not to humiliate, but to expose the truth. The affair, the secret meetings, the messages, all were laid bare. I watched as shock, shame, and guilt crossed her face. For the first time, she realized that betrayal has consequences that cannot be hidden, postponed, or denied. You expected me to forgive, I said softly, allowing the weight of my calm resolve to amplify the moment. You expected that I would overlook the mockery, the deception, and the infidelity. But the truth has consequences. Betrayal cannot be brushed aside with a smile or a casual apology. Room was silent except for the faint sound of breathing and the occasional shuffle of feet. Friends and family absorbed the gravity of the revelation, understanding the depth of the breach and the courage it took to expose it publicly. Zara's attempts to speak were futile. The evidence, the truth, and the public accountability had spoken louder than anything she could say. Over the following days, the consequences unfolded. Zara's social credibility suffered. Friends and family who had once trusted her were forced to reconsider their perceptions. The marriage, irreparably damaged by betrayal and deceit, moved swiftly toward divorce. And I, despite the personal pain, emerged with clarity, dignity, and control over the narrative of my life. Reflecting on the experience, I realized that public exposure in moments of betrayal is not about revenge. It is about accountability, truth, and ensuring that actions have consequences. By confronting the situation calmly and methodically in front of witnesses, I demonstrated that trust is sacred and that violating it carries ramifications far beyond private hurt. Zara's mockery, her infidelity, and her casual dismissal of my feelings were met with a response she could not anticipate: a composed, public, and undeniable acknowledgement of truth. The shock on her face was not just for me, but for everyone who had witnessed the betrayal and the courage it took to confront it. In the end, the experience reinforced a powerful lesson: betrayal, especially during the most vulnerable moments of life, cannot be hidden forever. The combination of evidence, calm resolve, and public accountability ensures that the weight of deception is fully recognized. That night, when I revealed the truth at the dinner party, I didn't yell, I didn't attack, and I didn't act impulsively. I simply exposed the betrayal in a controlled, undeniable way. The impact was profound, and the lesson was clear. Trust is fragile, deceit has consequences, and courage in the face of betrayal is the most powerful response of all. From that day forward, the memory of Zara's betrayal and my composed public reaction remained a testament to the consequences of infidelity. It taught me that exposure, accountability, and unwavering resolve are far more impactful than anger or private confrontation. The betrayal was devastating, but the response was decisive, clear, and unforgettable.